Chris, to be fair, made a great break to finally beat John Higgins. Never easy coming back to play that deciding frame, particularly so much at stake. Got his chance and took it very well.
All the more impressive as our first mobile phone of the day goes off, given that it felt as though he might have missed the boat, Wakelin, when he missed a pink for 5-2. Higgins coming back to lead 5-4, but as you say, the way he finished off with that very cool break in the decider when it really mattered was most impressive. Well, that's a handy bonus to start proceedings for Xiao Guodong. He's already secured his place as a seed for the upcoming UK Championship at the York Barbican by getting this far, and in the process has nudged Neil Robertson into a qualifying match. Chris Wakelin is hoping to do likewise. Excellent pot. But it would appear no position, so looks as though the fluke isn't going to be overly expensive for Wakelin.
A little bit unfortunate there. Great pot. You can see he was awkward playing that shot. His hand's so close to that red ball. Managed to get a good pot and the screw back to come back for the reds. I suppose considering he'd fluked the first red, probably fair enough.
It's Wakelin's view from the Hawk end of the table. Their last meeting was in World Championship qualifying. That was 3.5 years ago. Wakelin won 10-7 on that occasion. The other two meetings at the English and the Welsh Opens in 2016 and 18. All three going this man's way. But this, of course, their most significant meeting. There's a final at stake and a lot of money and points as well.
When you have such a poor head-to-head record, it can be on your mind, more so the day or two before the match. Very easy to exaggerate the impact of the match and what defeat could mean again. I think when you get out there playing, as soon as you can, you get involved in the game. That goes away, just get busy playing. You'd always rather have the head-to-head record in your favour, though.
Oh, goodness. Well, everything that could go wrong there did. He miscued, he fouled a red with his cue. Just checking the shaft there. Never fun using the spider, as we saw there. That's one of mine.
12-point fell there, I think.
But no laughing matter for Xiao, because he left Wakelin an easy starter. And of course Wakelin was able to break his duck yesterday against John Higgins, who'd won all 4 of their previous meetings. So one of the best victories of his career for sure. Oh, goodness. Oh,
Chris Wakelin won.
Is a bad one. He did miss quite a few yesterday that he shouldn't have done, really, Wakelin. Ultimately, it wasn't costly, but that's the kind of error he'll look to eliminate today.
It's even more surprising. Maybe some early nerves are taking to settle, but allowing for that. Very surprising. Chris will be very relieved. Particularly with the black he missed. Different maybe if he was going into the pack, had to play with some sort of power, but just had to pot it. And then Xiao's miss. Worse.
Possibilities are endless, really, for Wakelin. If he wins today, gives himself the chance of going on to lift the title. He's currently provisionally 20th in the world rankings, but just getting to the final will propel him into the top 16, as mentioned. So he'll be in the UK Championship. He'd also be provisionally in the Masters as well, at Neil Robertson's expense, although of course the UK is the cut-off for that tournament. And the chance to get into next week's Champion of Champions as well. Well, it's a comedy of errors in the early running.
Chris Wakelin 1.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, he looks very confused how he missed that. First I thought he might have got a kick because he hit it thick. You could see him wiping the table. Might have felt it moved.
Happily for him, he didn't get on his intended red, so got away with it. So 2 missed blacks from Wakelin. A miscue and a foul and a misread from Xiao. There are 8 frames in this first session.
Even in a long match, first frame can still be important. Those couple of early mistakes have probably just added to it. Always looking to settle. Never feel totally relaxed until you have got a frame on the board.
Certainly here on merit, Wakelin, he's beaten 3 world champions in a row. Sean Murphy, Mark Williams, and of course Higgins in the last 8. It's the 3rd time that we've had 3 players from mainland China contesting the semi-finals of a ranking event. Ding Junhui and Xu Se, of course, in the other semi. That's a terrific pot. Oh, he's a bit unlucky.
Queuing from so close to the cushion. Couldn't do a lot to try and avoid that red. Just let the white take its natural path. Perhaps he was hoping just to flick off that green and beyond the black. But a kind of putt that would give him confidence, help him settle down.
Xiao Guodong 1.
Xiao appearing in his 8th ranking semi-final, hoping for his 4th final appearance. Prior to his triumph in Wuhan, he'd been a runner-up at the shootout. And before that, of course, the Shanghai Masters, the first ever all-Chinese ranking final, where he lost to Ding. Never ideal when you've got a colour covering a corner pocket. That can lead to a bit of a stalemate, as the Reds tend to gravitate in that direction with nowhere to go.
I think Chris was conscious of that. Could have played thicker contact off the pack. Probably push Reds closer to the black. Neither player wants to get involved in such a tactical frame. But shot to nothing here for Xiao.
Catching the red on the side cushion wasn't part of the plan, but no damage done.
Excellent safety there from Chris. Tighten the cushion, and certainly if that yellow has blocked the left-hand side of the table. Well, he could see it, and he played it really well. So easy when the red is so close to the cushion to catch that too thick. To get the perfect contact and travel 24 feet. An excellent shot. If Xiao can find the gap past the pink for this red, he can swing it around and leave the white in a similar position.
So that's a mistake. And a big chance for Wakelin to put together something substantial after the flurry of early errors from both players. Saw his reaction when he beat Higgins yesterday, holding his fist aloft. It was a big win in more ways than one. There were times when he was losing the 4-2 lead, which should have been 5-2, where his body language was beginning to look a little resigned to his fate. And a fifth straight defeat at the hands of Higgins, but he regrouped very impressively for that decider. Made the Northern Ireland Open final last season, losing to Trump,
3.
whom he's yet to beat in 14 attempts. But of course, there's no Judd in this tournament anymore.
Four.
Been a fantastic rise the last couple of seasons for Chris. Going back a few years, I suppose you might have described him as a journeyman pro, but winning that shootout gave him such confidence, self-belief. He's managed to continue it on. Just a very strong player in all departments.
Yes, as he put it himself, he couldn't buy a win that season before rocking up at the shootout. Not everyone is of the view that it should carry ranking status, given that the matches are decided over one frame, time constraint. Inevitably, luck plays a bigger part, but for Wakelin, it's been transformative, as you say, in terms of his confidence. And now on the cusp of joining the game's elite.
12.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a ranking event myself. However, the £50,000 he won, not only to help his rankings, but also for a player that's lower down the rankings, £50,000 could take a lot of pressure off. One less thing to worry about. Instead of having to win to go up the rankings, having to win, maybe pay bills or make life a little bit more comfortable. Just an added pressure you just don't need.
Yes, he started last year ranked at 47 in the world. Those £50,000 also carry the same number of ranking points, so it very much alleviated the pressure on Wakelin.
$18.
But he's undercut the black. That's the third black he's missed in this frame. It wasn't a gimme, but it was one that clearly, as you can see from his expression, he was expecting to get. So, just a 14, make it 17-point lead for Chris Wakelin. He would have expected more from that chance.
What?
Now, is he on the black here? Has he snookered himself for a second time? No, he could get through, but he's not great positionally now.
And while it was a thin clip, he still caught it a little bit too thick. As a result, just hit the red. Could be end of break. Not the frame either player would have wanted. Just adds a little bit of significance to it. A player that can win. We'll soon forget those mistakes.
Xiao Guodong, 8.
Both players vastly improved in the form of their life, but still lacking a little bit of experience at the real business end of these big tournaments. They probably didn't think they'd have these opponents earlier on in the week, or maybe even yesterday, which can add to pressure.
It's got the feel of a final, hasn't it, this semi-final? Being played over 17 frames, 2 sessions.
Has the feel of a deciding frame already.
Well, the corner pockets have been receptive this week. We've had 88 centuries. But it has proved to be a very bitty frame, this opening one. Instantly forgettable, but no less important for whoever wins it to settle first.
Looks confused. Wants to play telling safety, but might just have to cut his losses. Play containing. Yeah, poor shot, you would have to say.
One of the many errors in this opening frame. So Wakelin gets another chance. He didn't make many with his original one.
Yeah, Xiao wasn't an ideal position, but he should just made sure when Chris came to the table he didn't have a pot. Particularly such a simple pot.
Eight. Nine.
It's not often that you miss 3 blacks off their spots and win a frame in
16.
professional snooker, but Wakelin has the chance to do that now.
$17.
Doesn't have to worry about the awkward red up near the pink.
$24.
There is a lot of pressure on Wakelin, arguably more so because, of course, Xiao Guodong has already won a big title this season. Not that he wants to win any less, but when you consider what's at stake for Wakelin in terms of the Champion of Champions, which Xiao has already qualified for, were he to go on and lift this title, the prospect of being a seed for the UK Championship and maybe the Masters beyond that, and all of the financial benefits that comes with those achievements, there's a lot at stake for him.
$175,000 for the winner. But if Chris was to win it, far closer to $250,000. And all those extra terms would be in, guaranteed money. Let alone the confidence it would give him.
Frame ball.
33.
Well, it's been a frame full of mistakes from both players. Wakelin having missed 3 blacks off their spots, but ultimately he's won it. And that's all that matters with the first frame of this significance. A big semi-final. Get that first one on the board, settle the nerves,
40.
feel part of the match early. Try and set the trend for the rest of the session. It was the safety error from Xiao Guodong that let Wakelin in for what
Chris
is surely a frame-winning
and a frame.
contribution. Yes, Xiao nods his head, remains in his chair. So it's the former shootout champion, Chris Wakelin, who shakes his head, maybe thinking about some of those errors, but it doesn't matter. He leads 1-0. An error-strewn, rather nervy beginning. Both players making quite a few mistakes, but it was a safety error from Xiao Guodong that let Chris Wakelin in for the telling break. He leads 1-0. 7 more frames in this first session, a possible 9 this evening. And 9 is the target for a place in the final. Their fourth meeting, Wakelin has won the previous 3, but they haven't played for well over 3.5 years.
Good safety shot. Managed to get good contact on the red and avoid the ball colours. Forced Chris to go for that red. It was difficult. Also the fact he knew if he missed it, he was guaranteed to leave Xiao, and amongst the balls just added to the pressure.
One.
Just about managed to avoid those 2 reds. It's a nice opportunity for him here, particularly coming after such a scrappy first frame. Still 5 open reds, so plenty of options. But with those 5 open reds, you'd be looking upon those as opportunities to get into the pack and ideally have another red waiting.
$17. $22.
There was a time when the thinking was
23.
pick off the open reds with colours and then go into the pack, but the modern game, you look at those open reds as opportunities to get into the pack earlier and not be relying on a good pack split. More beneficial if you go into the pack with the reds available, the reds in play.
30. $31.
Xiao Guodong sitting pretty in all kinds of ways after his triumph in Wuhan. He's 4th on the 1-year ranking list, so he's taken care of things regarding the Players Series events that are coming up from the spring of next year, starting with the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong this season.
$38.
Just serves to demonstrate, doesn't it? And we saw what Zhang Anda achieved last year out of left field, what confidence can do. All of these players are so good. And it's having that belief to be able to replicate
39.
your practice form when it really matters on the match table. Zhang did it to spectacular effect last season, with first his runners-up appearance at the English Open, having been ranked in the high 50s going in, and then of course winning this title, beating O'Sullivan, making a maximum. And although Xiao Guodong was more in the frame in that regard, it's just as impressive what he's been able to achieve, but he won't be happy with the outcome there.
He's been scoring very heavy, not just this season, but this week.
Xiao Guodong, 46.
He'd be disappointed to only make 46. When he came to the table, it was such a good opportunity.
Chris Wakelin's safety is perhaps underestimated, and it was very strong against John Higgins yesterday. He more than matched Higgins in that department.
Chris has practiced a lot with Mark Selby over the years. That'll bring your safety game on fairly quickly. As I mentioned earlier, he's just very strong now in all departments, and certainly scoring a lot heavier than he used to in his career.
Yes, I remember that demolition job he did on one of his big idols, Stephen Hendry, at the English Open 3 years ago, when he made 2 total clearances, 135, 141 from Hendry's break-off. Hendry scored 18 points in that match.
Just ask the referee as well to have a little look at it, in case he was to miss it, know exactly where it was. It's an excellent shot there. See, he played with right hand side just to check it back up, then to judge the pace. Yeah, you can see that appreciation there. Might end up being forced and playing that difficult red to left corner. Absolutely doesn't want to. Coming down this end of the table, desperately trying to find something, some option. I think he's looking at coming off the side cushion just past the middle pocket and landing on the red, 2 on the black cushion, the one on the left, a little bit off the cushion as well.
Foul and a miss. Chris Wakelin 4.
That was the danger. If he didn't make contact, would leave this red.
It was an excellent safety from Wakelin that got him in for the 62 break that won in the match against Higgins yesterday.
1.
And it's created this chance today.
3. Four. Nine. Ten. Thirteen.
A little bit of applause from the crowd there. Was a nice shot. Working hard for these points.
14.
Finally, looks like he's in good position. Look to be able to put one of those two reds to the left corner, bring the others into play.
Nineteen. Twenty. 25. $26.
He's overcooked that one. This break getting steadily more challenging, but gradually getting himself back into this frame. Looks like snooker.
Chris Wakelin. 26.
So just 16 points the deficit with 51 left. Aside from how well Wakelin has been playing in recent times since he won that shootout, I think his life away from the table is obviously very settled. He talked ahead of this semi-final about the fact that he's just bought a new house with his partner. He's got a very good team of people around him. There's a lot of positivity in the camp. And when you're happy off the table, that tends to transfer itself in terms of results and performance on it. Well, that certainly didn't go to plan. To say he overcooked that would be an understatement of significant proportions.
Yeah, the fact, see him laughing there, I think the fact he had to kind of get out of the way, couldn't stay down on the shot. The white ball would have come back, but not one of his better shots.
It's come so far down that it's given Xiao a chance here to get back in. But he's missed. Of course, he had the initial chance. Lost position on 46. And Wakelin has just undercut that red.
One.
Might have the slightest of angle on the blue. That's why he's looking at the pink. Pink's obviously a more difficult pot. It's the positive shot to play to get on those two reds.
An orchestra of phones going off meanwhile. Not ideal, but Xiao able to retain concentration, and Zheng Weili just reading the riot act. So 23 the lead, 43 left. Red and the high value colour would be enough for Xiao.
Eight.
Of course, he'll need the final red. This will put him 30 in front with 35 on. Couldn't have played that much better. As mentioned, the pockets have been receptive this week.
14.
But you still got to hit them accurately. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball.
However, you know, playing it at that pace to give it every chance. If you do miss, you're sticking it over the pocket.
Frame ball. Just seek to move away from the cushion as soon as he hit it.
14.
Happily for Xiao, it has run safe, but that's an opportunity that's been missed.
Yeah, you just got a sense of fear off him. Considering he has missed it, he's quite fortunate.
Hang on, hang on. Wow. Well, Xiao would still have needed the red, but that was perilously close to dropping.
Yeah, Chris quite fortunate there. The black, obviously, the only colour not on a spot, but not in that difficult a position to get behind. Again, an important frame. He feels it's more important for Xiao to win. Doesn't want to fall 2-0 behind, particularly with the chances he's had.
And he's got the double. So suddenly this frame has taken a turn. 29 the difference. What a chance for Wakelin to steal. Xiao miss frame ball red.
Seven. Nine.
back exactly far enough. Has the option of dropping it in or going around the table. Felt he could get closer.
12.
One of those situations that if he had it dropped the green in, he might have been closer to the brown than he is.
Big shot this. Very coolly done by Chris Wakelin. Beautifully stroked in. So he needs the 3 colours for a big steal early in this semi-final. And he's missed the blue. He's overcut the blue, having potted such a good brown, and
16.
huge disappointment for Wakelin and great relief for Xiao Guodong, who missed frame ball red and must have thought when that brown went in it was going to cost him. Just needs the blue. Well, another eventful frame, and Xiao will be mighty relieved, I'm sure, because he hadn't really settled in this semi-final and he was in serious danger there of falling 2-0 behind. As it is, barring snookers, it's going to be level.
Guodong.
19 the difference, so it's 1 to tie. And he snookered. Chris Wakelin had the chance for a big early steal in this semi-final, but he missed the blue, and Xiao Guodong gratefully accepts the reprieve to level the match. 1 frame apiece here in Nanjing.
Third frame.
And Chris Wakelin will be disappointed not to be leading 2-0. He had the chance, he stroked in that excellent brown, but then missed the blue after Xiao had missed frame ball. So 1-1. The first to 9 to go through to the title match. Ding against Xiao tomorrow.
You think with both players having a frame on the board now, both settled, start showing the form they've had this season and certainly this week, can be the danger in a long match in the first session to underplay its importance. Really feel that just jockeying for position. Very easy to think just get this session out of the way, then come strong tonight, but the first frame counts the same, every bit as important as the last frame. Hard to keep that intensity from start to finish. Also the fact the crowd today, or lack of, can result in the atmosphere lacking a little piece. Might be the same level of adrenaline the players would have to perform at their best.
This tournament dates back to 2012. Neither player had made a serious impression in the past at the International Championship. The last 16 was Xiao Guodong's best. He's found the red into the centre, but trusting to luck positionally. And Wakelin had never been past round 2, so it's already been a great week for both. But of course they want more.
Poor shot from Chris previously to leave Xiao that red.
Green ball. Xiao Guodong. 1.
Yeah, he's not quite settled yet. He'll be grateful to be at 1-1. It could easily be 2-0 and then the pressure would really be on. But here's an early chance for Wakelin to atone for that missed blue.
One. Eight.
That's a bad miss.
Chris Wakelin
It's in
8.
perfect position. As you can see, just potting the red. Couldn't help but disturb reds.
There have been some inexplicable misses already today, and indeed yesterday from Wakelin at times in his victory over Higgins. He did very well in the end to regroup to win that decider. It maybe helped him that there was a gap, even though he did win the 10th frame from 5-4 down. You saw John Higgins' reaction when he was told that they wouldn't be finishing in the allotted slot. He was not happy. Let's say no more than that. And ultimately he was right not to be happy, because it was Wakelin who came through when they did return. So what looked like a great chance for Wakelin now falls to Xiao, who will be feeling a good deal better for getting that second frame. He's made 4 centuries this week. Wakelin 3.
Ramrod straight on that last red. Middle of the white, middle of the red, middle of the pocket. Give him a bit of confidence. There's still a slight uneasy feeling watching both of them. Leave with good opportunities. We've seen a series of unexpected misses.
Twelve.
It shouldn't matter what your opponent's doing. Ultimately, you are just playing the balls as they lie, but you can influence, affected. Their standard of play can have an impact on your standard of play.
18. $25. 26.
He's been scoring very heavily this season, Xiao. 20 centuries already. Only made 19 last season.
Made 2 yesterday and seeing off Jackson Page, who did stage a late rally. Made a couple of 80 breaks himself to get back to 5-4 from 5-2, but Xiao held firm when it mattered. And the temperament that he's shown has been one of the key elements to his recent success.
33. $34.
There's every chance that the season you've had the most amount of centuries will also be your best season.
41.
Getting close to 300 for his career. He turned pro in 2007. He's on 275 now.
Always been a dangerous player.
42.
Heavy scorer. But never really kicked on from making that final. The Shanghai Masters.
And although he's not one of the quickest players on the tour, he's twice been a shootout runner-up, which shows that, firstly, that tournament is not
49.
all about speed, even though there's a time constraint. It's about being able to think clearly under pressure with quite often a boisterous and intimidating crowd. Being very ready to make a noise when you do something good or indeed make a mistake. So you need to have something about you to be successful in that format, and he's proved that he has that within him. Temperament, all important in all aspects of this sport. Certainly looking good now for 2-1. Chris Wakelin had the chance himself, missed the red badly, really, into the right
56.
corner. Perhaps still smarting from missing the blue in the previous frame, which cost him a 2-0 lead.
57.
59 left, so this pink, one more red.
Yeah, kind of the break. You could argue the match needed, certainly for Xiao. Took these very well.
63.
Calm and measured.
64.
The audience, which is a little thin, as Fergal pointed out, disappointingly, for this first session at least at the moment, acknowledging frame ball.
$69.
Looking a little glum, and he knows he let Xiao off the hook in the previous frame before this man had settled. He has now.
70.
Given that he only won the Wuhan Open quite recently, probably would have made him slight favourite. Probably slight favourite. That one player get a lead and get ahead would be him.
77.
Still very early, but Chris wouldn't want to fall 3-1 behind. These matches very easily just slip away from you, even in longer sessions.
83.
Yes, and Xiao has already achieved those things that Chris is desperate to replicate, i.e. get a seeding for the UK Championship. As he misses that red, it's academic.
83. And the free.
Get into the Champion of Champions. Xiao is there already, of course, by dint of winning the Wuhan Open. And he's now in front here after the error from Wakelin, the misread to the right corner. Xiao leading 2 frames to 1. Xiao Guodong breaks off in frame 4, the frame before the first interval. Now 2-1 up. He could easily have been 2-0 down. Chris Wakelin likely to make the clearance in the second frame, missed the blue, and then missed a red to the right corner early in the third, which proved to be his final shot. So now looking to level up at the break. First to 9, of course, to go through to the final on Sunday, with a further 5 frames to come in this first session.
Poor safety shot there. Got it too thick. Chris this chance.
Wow.
Played it nicely. Again, the kind of chance during the week he's been scoring very heavy from. But today, so far, there's no guarantees. But the fact that Xiao in the last frame won it in one visit,
8.
just finally focused his mind.
Nine. $16.
Must have been quite a thrill to win that shootout, particularly the manner in which Wakelin achieved it with a century against Julian Leclerc in the all-important
17.
final match. And that has been the catalyst for a real resurgence for him. Got into his fitness, his running, ballroom dancing as well. He took part in a local Strictly Come Dancing spin-off in Coventry to raise money for a baby hospice. Managed to get to the final where he did a waltz.
25.
Lost 4 stone in 3 months. That's some going.
$32. $33.
Seasons could be very busy, tournament to tournament, and a lot of travelling. So obviously the fitter you are is definitely an advantage. Greater levels of stamina, particularly if you're going deep in tournaments. Standards rising all the time.
Yes, we've seen the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan, who is very diligent about looking after himself in terms of his fitness, his diet. Neil Robertson is another. John Higgins took up spinning classes to keep himself in shape. Although it's not a physical sport per se, the mental effort and levels of concentration for hours upon end take a physical toll. So the better shape you're in physically, the more likely you're to succeed. Peter Ebdon was an early pioneer of fit body, fit mind when it comes to this sport, and he did pretty well.
40. $41.
Well, this is exactly what Wakelin needed to get over the disappointment of the last two frames, really, both of which he could have won. But important now that he goes on to convert this chance.
Key shot coming up. Pot this red. Nice on the colour.
46.
Comes a great chance.
$47.
Just having a look. Might be forced into playing a little gentle cannon into those three reds at the pink. I think he was looking to see if he does that. Will the bottom red of the four to the right be available? Just about got it. And that reaction tells me I
54.
think he's not on this red. Maybe he could possibly turn it over a little bit left hand side, but again, he pot the black, but the fact went in the side, that's how he just slightly lost the white. He had needed the white to be more or less on the pink spot.
The further concern is that everything's open, so if Xiao did get a chance, and you can see Wakelin's frustration at landing as he has, it would be a good one to make a telling counter.
Yeah, he's tempted by this plant. Again, if he does go for the plant, he's got to make the white ball his priority. Just pot the red and at least get control.
There was quite a bit of distance between those reds, so no
54.
great surprise to see it stay out. So a handy lead for sure, but not a decisive one for Wakelin.
Chris left this shot to nothing. Back to the right corner. Anyway, left hand side to swing it around. Type of shot he plays very well. Wasn't too concerned with the white. Just want to get the pot and get control, but he has the chance in the green. But the fact he was 55 ahead,
Chris Wakelin 1.
absolutely no need to take a risk with the green. Also then put the yellow, the side cushion, give him a bit more insurance. excellent safety. Not just the length, but where he's put it. Xiao one-sided.
Now, where's this red ending up? Not good for Xiao. So a great chance for Wakelin to share this mini session. Which you'll probably feel is the least that he should have, really, given the opportunities he had in frames 2 and 3.
One. 把塑料袋收起来，把塑料袋收起来。
Bit of movement maybe in the crowd. Cheng Wei Li on the case. 75 left, so a couple more reds should do the trick. Well, can he get through to the red? It's nestled against the pink. Looks as though he can. Yeah, there's a bit of a space, happily for Wakelin.
Five.
Quite a tense start to this semi-final, understandably, with so much at stake. But this red, and it should be 2-all at the first interval.
11. 12. 18. 19.
'Pressure now off. Wakelin can focus on trying to make a few here before heading off to the dressing room. Doesn't look as though the cannon has quite gone to plan with that in mind.
24.
But it doesn't matter because there's only 51 left.
First, we're 25.
And that concludes the first half of our first session here in Nanjing, the first semi-final of the International Championship, and it's honours even after 4 frames. Xiao made a break of 83. Two frames all. Chris Wakelin to get us back underway. And the question is, can someone forge a lead after this 4-frame burst that we're about to enjoy? Or is it going to be dead level when they come back tonight? 11:30 UK time for the concluding session. Their 4th meeting. Wakelin has won all 3. But they haven't played since the 2021 World Championship qualifiers. And of course, Xiao Guodong, a different proposition these days. Now he's a ranking champion, looking to make it 2 ranking titles in the space of a few weeks, having waited 17 years for his first. Holding his hand up there, clearly didn't hit that safety as intended, but getting the cue ball back beyond the baulk line nonetheless. Even so, there is a red here for Wakelin. It's a tough one. A test of cueing this is. Oh, and passed with honours. Beautiful cueing.
In some ways, that's a better pot. Even more pressure on that. If he missed it, it leaves Xiao the chance coming across the table. There's certainly good signs already. Maybe during the interval, a little bit of a rethink, just settle down a little piece.
7.
Didn't get a sense that it was they were missing through pressure, just more lapse in concentration.
8.
It's a lovely shot there. The punt, judge it off the 2 angles, put himself in good position straight away. He just stayed down. Didn't want that little glance in the red.
15.
From where he was in the back, it was simple enough. Either to play the cannon or avoid the red. Did a little bit of neither, and you can see there, left himself this trickier pot. He's afraid of it.
16.
Never in doubt.
Yeah, just fully committed to the pot.
$21. 22.
Nicely played.
Yeah.
Just a trace of right hand side off the cushion to bring it back over and past the blue, high in the blue. Just having a look as the chance can get on a red, might be forced to play the blue. Try and get a cannon off either the 3 reds or even the black. Have to be very precise to try and land it. Probably merit in playing at a pace into that group of 4. Let's try just put it in an area. Chances are he'd be on
27.
one of the reds.
$28.
It's nicely played as well. And of course, once you put one of those reds, the other 2 are not a problem.
$33. 34.
Crucial here to leave himself perfect
41.
angle.
$42.
Played that nicely. Did have a perfect
49.
angle, just played it well. Caught the first red, but enough backspin to come back into them.
$50.
Got him with that terrific long red and then an equally good pink. Xiao Guodong having held his hand up in apology, but in the event he had nothing to say sorry for. Just slipped past the edge of the green to maintain good position, so this is a clear chance now for Wakelin
55.
to move back in front. He led 1-0, trailed 2-1.
$56.
Wanted slightly more angle, I think. A little bit straighter on the blue than he would have liked.
$61.
But a red and a black, and Xiao will need a snooker.
$62.
And this has been Wakelin's best snooker of the match so far. Very controlled break, launched by that terrific bit of cueing
69.
from long range. Wants another red to be sure.
$70.
And now, just thinking about what would be a fourth century of the tournament for him.
$77. Chris Wakelin 77 in the
Well,
frame.
no century, but 77 will suffice. It was a lovely break from Chris Wakelin. He'll be a bit disappointed not to have gone on to make the three figures, but doesn't matter really. He leads 3-2.
You would never describe Chris as a slow player, but certainly last year or two, even more fluent. I think his cue ball control has also improved, so it can go hand in hand with playing a bit more fluent. You can move from shot to shot without having to take time out for thinking. And as a result of those two things, just a much more dangerous player.
Managed to avoid the red, but wanted the cue ball a good foot further down the table. It's barely on the baulk line.
1.
Nicely cued with a bit of safety in mind. Drawing the cue ball back.
Yeah, hit that very well. Didn't hit it particularly hard, but just a smooth delivery of the cue. Plenty of backspin on it. Probably a little bit unfortunate that the yellow or green isn't easier than this.
Green ball.
He was up quickly there. He overcut the green. It wasn't easy.
Xiao Guodong. 1.
And look at what he's left. Didn't get close, really. Wakelin, fresh from that frame-winning 77, presented with a good early chance to do something similar.
Plenty of reds available. Pink in play. Just black. Just awkward.
One. Six.
Wise to ignore the black for the moment. He needs to make 40 or 50 without going near it.
7.
I'd be thrilled with that one because he's left himself hampered on this pink. Not a major problem, however. Pink was not his friend at times yesterday. He missed a key one when he was poised for 5-2, and it looked as though it might have cost him the match at one stage, with Higgins coming back from 4-2 down to lead 5-4. It was almost as though Wakelin thought that himself with the body language he was displaying, but credit to him for the way he recovered to force the decider, and then when they came back to play it, conjuring that very composed 62 after getting Higgins in trouble with a safety. One of the biggest wins of his career. His first over Higgins in 5 attempts. To give himself this chance to join the elite.
The
Pink having to go up on the brown spot certainly didn't help his cause.
Just a
little bit harder to retain position, putting these reds. Going for the blue. Just double checking. You see there the black. Looks like it does go. Mightn't be the full pocket, but if he was right behind it, you could drop it in.
Yeah. 26.
Elected to play for the blue and struck that very well. Of course, even if he doesn't win in one visit, if he can break around 50 or so, he's still a strong favourite.
31. 32.
'He struck up a really nice rhythm now, Wakelin. Made a few
37.
potting errors early in the session. He would have been irked to have missed that blue when he had the chance for 2-0. Found himself 2-1 behind, but since then, he's looked good.
38.
'Break beginning to become more challenging now,
43.
as the easy reds are picked off.
Yeah. Just looking to see is there a spot he could leave the white, and maybe from the blue, if he's stunned down, more or less where his tip was just there, put it in that area. He feels sure if he doesn't have ideally the red to left corner, he'd have one to the right.
$44.
Yeah, so just put the white in between the black and the red to the left. Has the option of playing a little cannon. Maybe he's looking at that. Play a little screw shot. Play the red the other side of the black. But settle for that.
49.
Straight on the red to the left corner. So playing the one to right. And hampered queuing, but just has to roll it in for the blue. When his last shot wasn't as intended, but putting the
50.
black out of commission with this lead certainly to his advantage.
His third half century of the semi-final. Xiao Guodong
55.
missed the cut on the green. And it looks likely to be fatal in this frame.
56.
Just this blue to put him 61 in front. Or 60 in front, I should say. With only 59 remaining, so if he can drop this red in, surely going to be a two-frame gap for the first time in this
61.
last four match. Well, he'll be
Chris
annoyed
Wakelin.
to have missed that,
61.
because it would have absolutely killed the frame. As it is, it's just the one snooker.
One.
Playing this safety
6.
and get the black into play. And also a chance of getting the white behind brown and pink.
Xiao Guodong, 6.
A little bit dangerous.
Indeed. Happily, not quite enough pace on the cue ball to threaten to knock the green in, which would have made the frame live again.
One.
There's definitely still jeopardy here for Wakelin, having failed to make sure, although it looks as though Xiao's just snookered himself on the red by the pink.
7.
He was looking to be on that red and pot the black. Because we could get the black on its spot. That red on the cushion would have been nicely placed, but you can see snookered there. He's going to have to play the red. The cushion. Again, a bit frustrating for Chris. As we'd pot that red, we'd have already moved on to the next frame, so still favoured to win it, but just extra time and energy spent.
Xiao Guodong, 7.
Xiao also will be taking confidence from the fact in the Wuhan Open, just 2-0 down to Karen Wilson, need a snooker. Got it. Not only to win the match, went on to win the tournament. That one frame only changed the match, but may well have changed his whole career.
On 4-point snooker to tie as things stand for Xiao Guodong in this frame.
opportunity here for Chris. It's not easy. Can just totally commit to the pot.
1.
And potted it very cleanly, and that surely ends the frame. Only 35 left. 48 the difference.
Black and ball.
And Xiao Guodong concedes. So Chris Wakelin has made a bit of a move in this first session. He's 2 clear for the first time to guarantee himself a share of this session, but now he's eyeing a lead going into this evening's finale. UK time later, 9 of course being the magic number for a place in the title match on Sunday. Ding Junhui against you, sir, tomorrow, of course. Tap on the table from Xiao, who missed a cutback green, having knocked in a good long red at the start of the previous frame, and that proved to be his last live shot. Couldn't get the snooker he required to get back into it.
Xiao's a little bit fearful to avoid the 2 reds. On the left hand side, has to play maybe a little bit thicker than he would like. Poor safety again, you'd have to say. Not even getting past the balk line. Green might be slightly hampering Chris. I think if it wasn't, he'd have already been down and playing it. As a result, has to set for a safety. It's a better safety. May have left. Red to left. Not sure if Chris banged the cue up himself there. Seemed to wince a little bit in pain.
I mean, you could make a case for saying, couldn't you, that's a mistake from Wakelin, that he could be 6-0 up. The 2 frames he lost, he missed a blue, having knocked in a great brown for 2-0, and right at the start of the next frame, missed a pretty simple red, which let Xiao in for his only sizable break so far in 83. So if he could get out of this at 4 each, he would be highly delighted.
Yeah, he felt with Xiao's great experience at the business end that he was probably more likely to take a lead. But he hasn't really settled at all today. As you said, if he
1.
could dig in, make a 4-all, be delighted. Again, Chris will also be aware on the other side. He knows Xiao's not at his best. He wants to try and capitalise and get a lead. Because he knows it's unlikely Xiao's going to come out and play as poorly this evening.
Six. 7.
The black being out of playoffs. It's
Xiao.
far more difficult. Pink passes to left corner, right middle. That obviously helps. Might be tempted still to play a little cannon onto the pink just to open the pack up or cluster up a little bit. You need wave each other. If he leaves an angle on the pink, we'll be able to polish and bring a few more reds into play. Yeah, that's what he's just looking at there. Where exactly can he leave the white to make it automatic and plotting the pink? Reds will come into play.
Nineteen. 24.
Running out of reds. Running out of options. Looking to be straight enough in this. Glance off the red. Have the pink to middle.
$25.
Yeah, pink spot not available. Xiao just went back to his chair there. Up his hands. Try and keep his composure. Well aware of the importance of this visit and frame. The pink's not available to the right corner. Far more likely than the blue to play cannon. Try and open it up.
32.
The fact he's just off straight seems to be preventing the fact of him coming down. Playing a cannon, the red's pink. So looking to find that gap, that red to the left of the black.
37.
Judging by that little bit of applause from that side of the crowd, must have played it well.
$38.
Judged that very well. Power stun shot with a tracer right hand side. Running side just meant he was able to get high on the blue. Of course, he puts this red above the black. That'll free the path for the other two to the opposite corner.
It's a vital visit this for Xiao. Clearly, were he to lose this frame, there's the danger that he could be cut adrift entirely in this semi-final.
43.
And facing a possible 4-frame deficit, that would take a lot of retrieving. But if he wins this one, then the worst he can be is 2 behind, with a chance of still getting out of the session unscathed.
44.
But this break has been pretty painstaking, and he's struggling to keep it going.
Yeah, from the blue, find it hard to get over to the left hand side of the table for those two reds to right corner. Another great shot. Hit that very
49.
well.
Gutsy as well. He had to get it, knowing he was leaving Wakelin the chance to counter if he missed.
That glance on the pink means, of course, a good shot here to get in and out of balk. On our next red.
Willing the cue ball to slow
55.
down.
Yeah, they don't listen. But he's had a great attitude in this break. He's kind of enjoyed the challenge that the balls have presented. Fully engrossed in it.
Yes, he's put an
56.
awful lot of work into this contribution. His second half century at the semi-final.
After all that hard work, see there, just needs this red.
And if he does go on to win this semi-final, give himself the opportunity to become a multiple ranking titleist in the space of a few weeks, he'll look back on that blue, I think. It was missable. He was leaving reds. And the way Wakelin has been queuing of late, you would have backed him to get right back into the frame at the very least. But he potted it emphatically. And he's got himself right back in the match.
Apart from that one pink he potted, it's been all mainly blues and a couple of ball colours.
Wakelin having left the red over the right corner initially, but he really has to graft in this contribution. And he's been rewarded.
Yeah, deliberately screwing back there.
72.
This red might be able to stir the red away from the black. Later on in the match,
73.
his concentration, and Chris, to be fair, had been great. Following Chris's increase in performance and concentration, it's forced Xiao to up his game as well.
Guodong, 73. Second frame.
That really was a terrific break from Xiao Guodong. An excellent response and a timely one, because things were just threatening to get away from him. As it is, he's back within a frame with one to come at 3-4 down. Having been largely outplayed in this session, arguably a bit lucky to have two of the first 6 frames, but he won the 7th very impressively. Wakelin still with the chance, of course, to take a 2-frame cushion into the resumption, which is coming up in about 3 hours' time.
One.
Oh, wow, what a pot. Having knocked it in, a bit unlucky to push the brown to the cushion there. Tremendous queuing. Revitalised by that superb 73 just now, which has got him back in the match.
Guodong, 1.
Could have made a case for playing the yellow into the pack, open them up. Pack being so closely bunched together, there's no way Chris is going to leave a red on.
That certainly opened things up.
Chris certainly looks to be tempted by this. You can see there an option of safety on the left-hand side. Just roll this in, come off the cushion for the black. That's exactly what he did. In fact, he's nicely low on it. One good cannon here could develop the reds into a great chance.
Terrific pot from Wakelin.
Yeah, if he just stuns into that red above the black, you feel it has to open them up. Yeah, I thought he would have played with a lot more pace for that very reason. Just open them up, spread them out. Find gaps for the white to land. You could say he's maybe a little bit unlucky to land there, but he gave bad luck a chance.
Not a very appetising prospect, this red, with the long stuff inevitably required. Queuing over a ball.
Yeah, the fact the white practically touching that red. It'll be very difficult from such distance away for you to get a visual on it, to know exactly where your tip is, but then also to play it and not hit that red. See, the referee's moved round. He'll give this his full attention. You're just reluctant to leave the table after a good chance.
Yeah, there is nothing about this shot that is inviting, really. You might even do yourself an injury in the process.
Yeah, it has to play with some sort of pace.
Yeah, I think it's plan B. So frustration for Wakelin, having knocked in such a great long red. Just floated it in, just the safety.
Chris, Wakelin 8.
There's the correct shot there. Just take his medicine. Might have to settle for trying to play this end red. right hand side, thin, fearful of the in-off, or even worse, getting stuck in the jaws. Because of that felt,
1.
best way of getting back down the table was playing that as a shot to nothing. That was a really good pot. Just about found the gap between the reds. Yeah, not for the first time today. When he's in a bit of trouble, he's took that time. He's had the patience and discipline. And he was rewarded in the last frame. Will he be rewarded in this one?
Well, he deserved a bit of luck. It was a very positive shot going into the pack, and looks like he is on a red to the centre, at least. Just feel as though Xiao was conscious of the need to raise his game at the end of this session, and he's doing so. Things were drifting a little for him, but that 73 break just now has given him new impetus.
Seven.
Yeah, again, just took time out there. You were putting this pinks on the brown spot. So play this red, play one cannon to the red above it, beyond the black, the right corner.
$14.
Nicely judged. Another nice little shot.
21.
Shown fantastic concentration and application. This last frame and a half. Balls haven't been nice, far from ideal, but he hasn't switched off for a second.
22.
It's particularly impressive considering the start of the match. He missed so many easy balls and made so many mistakes.
The difference now for Xiao Guodong is that he's playing in the knowledge that he's a ranking champion. He knows he can go the distance in these big events now, beat the best. And if he is having
29.
a difficult patch in a match, he'll back himself to find a way through it. Just for a moment,
30.
like he might have overcut that, but he's okay. The break goes on. And He would be highly delighted to emerge from this session with a share. Chris Wakelin looks like he's just had some bad news. We saw a bit of that yesterday against Higgins. Ultimately, of course, it worked out well for him. But he will certainly be, I think, disappointed if he doesn't get out of this session with a lead. He's been the better player overall.
$37.
As best he can, though, Chris needs to stay alert, stay awake on the off chance.
Yeah,
Xiao
staying
misses.
awake is always a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to, when you're in your chair, expect your opponent to miss. So if and when he does, you're mentally ready.
44.
But the long days, long tournaments, and there's no guarantee. Chris or Xiao slept well last night. You wouldn't know what tiredness or effects of jet lag are still there.
45.
There will be a bit of time in between sessions. Maybe go back to the hotel, have a sleep. Come out fresh for tonight. Yeah, it was just looking cannon it right in the outside of the
52.
pack. Still 45 ahead, still a good lead.
This match is worth 42,000 points. Guaranteed 75,000 for the finalist this year. And that would be enough, remember, to propel Chris Wakelin into a seeded spot for the UK Championship. And Xiao misses the plant. He, of course, has already confirmed that he'll be at the York Barbican later this month.
52.
But this frame is still up for grabs.
Apart from obviously cleaning his cue, probably give himself an extra few seconds just to regroup mentally. As we said, might have switched off.
Still 75 points available to him.
Wow.
A good pot, but you saw his reaction. He knew, having potted it, that he wasn't going to get position to go with it.
Chris Wakelin 1.
But it's given him control of the table.
Yeah, deliberately rolled up to the pink on that side just to block the left hand side of the table as we look. Yeah, he knows it's not nice. Can't come off the side cushion. Play this red near the middle.
Foul and a miss. Chris Wakelin 4. One.
Played that well. He's just having a little glance there at that red close to the middle. Probably looks easier on the screen than it is. But if you could drop behind it, shouldn't be a problem.
Mentioned earlier that he practices regularly with Mark Selby, and he uses a similar style when using the rest. He holds the butt of that implement off the bed of the table with his hand. Works well enough for Selby. This would be a great frame now for Wakelin to steal. It was looking good for Xiao to get out of this session with a share of the spoils, which would have been most satisfactory for him from 4-2 behind.
Seven. $14. $15.
Just a little bit straighter, I think, on the black than you liked. Just try and power it over to the left-hand side cushion.
Yep.
Ideally, just
22.
to pot the red, you'd like to be on the cushion, but the fact that he's going to pot the red, it will be coming off the cushion, which then makes the black to last red a bit easier. You expect him to pot this, playing at a pocket weight.
You know? It's okay?
Yeah, just adjusting the length of the extension. You just count down to check when he drops it in pocket weight, where exactly will the white be for the black.
Doesn't like it. Huge moment in this session. Could be the difference between 4 each and 5-3 to Wakelin. Well played. Never easy with the extensions.
23.
Yeah, it looks to be perfect as well, just to screw back towards the cushion and also towards the red. And of course, if he just drops it in, he's naturally on the brown. So, he's worked hard for it, but this is now a great chance.
$30.
Yes, this red not quite as routine as it might appear on screen. It's not a full pocket to aim at, and these centre pockets are unforgiving, so good cueing required.
So they won.
But what a chance for Wakelin to emerge with a first session lead.
So the 5. So the 7.
Just took a second or two to work out exactly where he wants to be on the brown. Yeah, actually wanted to be the other side of the brown. Didn't want to be playing a shot that was going to involve hitting the pink.
He's going to need the pink for a big steal. But he's pushed the pink into a slightly more awkward spot in potting the brown, so this is not done yet by any means. The blue needs some potting as well. Never mind position.
Yeah, it was a shot on the green, not leaving himself that nice angle on the brown. Caused the problem. That's a great putt. More importantly, a great positional play.
A moment of inspiration from Chris Wakelin when it looked like that break might be going wrong. This for 5-3. That is a huge intervention from Chris Wakelin. Xiao Guodong was looking good to share the session when he was in. He lost position. And Chris Wakelin has cleared up in very impressive fashion to take what he will feel, I'm sure, is a deserved first session advantage in our opening semi-final here at the International Championship. It's still all to play for when they come back. But Chris Wakelin will be delighted to have that 2-frame gap. He leads 5-3.